Today's project is one of my absolute favourites, and this is what you're going to need to be able to complete it. I've just got a really small piece of gold mirror card because you'll need that for the centre of your flower. If you don't want to use this, you could just grab some little gold diamantes or anything that you want to go in the centre of your flower. You're going to need some ribbon to put your flower onto once you have finished making it. And then I have 2 pieces of felt. This is just a regular plain red felt from Hobbycraft. I think these are 60p a sheet these days. That's the one I'm using for my actual flower. And then this is actually a piece of stiffened felt. This was from my wholesaler. It just comes in a pack, but you can just use any normal green felt. I just didn't have a sheet of green Hobbycraft felt on hand. So this is all you're going to need for this project. So let's jump over into Design Space and sort out exactly what it is we need to do. This is the design that we're going to be using today in Cricut Design Space to make our gift decoration, and it is a Cricut Access item. It'll cost you 89p if you're not a member, but if you have a subscription you'll be able to use it for free included in your subscription. So we're just going to add this to the canvas. This is the image code up here, but I will put that down below and in the description for you if you missed this part and you haven't paused it. I've already got one on the screen already, so I'm just going to hit cancel today. This is how the design comes up, and I am going to be using it the same size that it comes up on the screen today. What I'm going to do is just ungroup everything first of all, just so that you can see the size of that flower. That will be the overall size of the base of your flower. Then this is the second layer. Now, when I've made these previously, I have added myself a third layer in. Now, that is entirely up to you, and it depends how big you want your flower to look. But I'm going to add a third layer into mine today because I like the way it looks when it's got 3 layers. You can make it a little bit bigger if you want to. I'm going to do that, but only very slightly. So I now have 3 petal sections. I've got 2 green leaves, and then I have this little section here. This is the one that I'm going to use my gold card to cut out. I'm not going to do that with felt at all. We don't need to worry about mirroring or anything with this project, so the next thing to do is go through to make it. I was expecting 3 mats, and that's exactly what I've got. So this is my gold section, my green leaves, and then my flowers. I'm using an A4 size piece of felt today, so I need to change my material size to reflect that. So just click on the drop down menu and click on A4. It has split it onto another mat, but I think I can probably get it onto one piece. So I'm going to click on my last mat, click on these 3 dots, and then click on Move Object. I'm going to move it onto mat 3, confirm. And then I just need to play around with the placement of my flowers to allow me to get that all onto one mat. That is perfect. Now we're ready to go. Let's go over to the desk and get the mat ready to cut. The blade that I'm going to be using in my machine today is my rotary blade. Don't get this confused with the scoring wheel. It does look very similar, but it does perform completely differently. So this is the one that came with my Cricut Maker, but I'm not sure whether they come with them anymore. I've got a couple of these. This one is in a fixed housing. You can't take the end off or anything. It just stays like this. And then for my mat, I'm just using a really old light grip mat that's really sort of no good for anything other than this sort of thing now. I wouldn't use this for cardstock, and I certainly don't use a fabric grip mat for felt because it will ruin it for you. So I'm just going to pop my piece of felt up in the corner. I am going to bray it like I always would, but it's more just to make sure that it's flat. So I'm sort of using my brayer as an iron in this respect, not like to make it stick any better like I would normally, because it will stick really, really well. Do you remember fuzzy felts when you were a kid? This basically is like a fuzzy felt sticking onto this mat at the moment, so you don't need to worry about it moving at all. Let's head over to the machine and pop it in with the rotary blade. First of all, then we just need to get this rotary blade into the machine. So we're going to undo clamp B, take that one out. So I'm just going to pop this in there and just let it rest on the little metal pieces on the side. I can close the clamp up, and then that is ready to go. Now I'm going to pop in my felt, and you'll notice I've left my star wheels. There's a reason I've left those there. I want them to help to keep my felt really flat. Back to Design Space then. Let's click on Continue. I'm going to cut the red first, which is mat 3 obviously. Now what I need to do is go into browse all materials, and I'm just going to type in felt, and the one that I use is just the top setting here, and I just click on that, get the little green tick, and then click on done. Now I want to change my blade because this is giving me the fine point blade as standard. Now as I said, you can use your fine point blade, but I prefer to use my rotary. So I'm just going to click on edit tools, and then I'm just going to click on where it says rotary blade. You'll notice there's a green box appeared around there, so we know that's selected, and we can just click on apply. When I press go on the machine, what's going to happen is the carriage is going to move all the way to the right hand side, and it's going to find that tool. If it can't find it, it will let you know that you've got the wrong tool in there. Then what's going to happen is going to spin, it's going to twist itself and go backwards and forwards. It looks a bit weird when it's doing it, but it's definitely what needs to happen. So let's hit go on the machine, and you can see how that rotary blade works. Once you finish cutting, then this is what you should have. So depending on whether you've decided to do 2 or 3 layers, you'll have 2 or 3 flower pieces. One thing that you'll need to look at when you are just going through your pieces is you might have these little fuzzy bits. Can you see there that's left in the middle of that flower? You just want to pull those off because you don't want those to be on there. And usually you do find each piece gets at least 1 or 2 left behind. So just cut them out and just pull those off. Then you should have your 2 leaf pieces like I've got here, and then if you're using a centerpiece, you'll have that as well. That's mine ready in my gold cardstock. So I'm just going to put that to one side for now because we need to put these flowers together. So the first thing we're going to do then is get our petals, and we're going to get them in size order. So I always start from the biggest one down to the smallest. So let's grab the big one to start with. Now what we're going to do in order to put these together is use hot glue. So you need to be super duper careful that you don't burn yourself because it can be ever so hot and scald you very, very easily. So what we're going to do is pop a small blob of glue just on the center here of the bottom of the petal, and then we're going to grab that up like that, and we are going to squeeze it together and hold it till it's set to create a petal effect there. And we're going to do that all the way around on all of these pieces of felt. So we're going to start doing that. I'll do one slowly to show you, and then I will speed the video up so that it's not boring for you to watch me putting together all of my pieces. So here's my glue gun. It's ready to go and it has been on for a while. As I said, be so careful that you don't burn yourself because it does hurt. I'm just going to put a small blob on there, and then we are going to press that together. So just be careful, as I said. If it feels too hot, just let it go and just go back to it once it's cooled ever so slightly. There we go. That is the petal shape that it makes, and that's not completely set, but it's enough to let go of it and carry on with the next one. So I'm going to do that for all of my petals on all of my felt pieces, and then once that's done, we will put the flower together and put on the leaves. all 3 petal pieces are all done now then. I'm just going to show you a little trick. These little things here are so annoying. I don't know if you can see them. They are glue strings and they are annoying, but they are an inevitable result of using hot glue. Now what I use is a skewer, and I just go around those and it just picks it up like candy floss. So I just pick them up and just twist my skewer and it just gets rid of them. And you can do that as well here. Let's get rid of those. Is there any on this one? This one's not too bad, but we'll just get rid of that small one there, and it literally picks it up like candy floss or cotton candy if you're in America, and it just holds it on the end of that stick. And I just find it a brilliant way of making sure that I haven't got any annoying glue strings attached to my work. Now you may find when you are sticking this together that you put too much glue on and it might spill over like this one has. I just take a very small pair of embroidery scissors and just cut that off, because you won't be able to pull it off, but you can cut it away and just get rid of it there, and no one will see where you've snipped that away. Let's now put together the flower. So now we want to get them in order again, ready to put together. So we've got the large one, the medium and the small here. What I like to do is just lay them out first and just check how each one is going to look, and I like to sort of offset the petals together. So when I say that, what I mean is with my second layer now, I'm not going to put it dead straight on top. I'm going to put these petals so they're filling these gaps. So let's just pop that on there like so, and then I've got my smaller one. I'm just going to snip another bit of glue off that I've just noticed there. Hot glue is so hard to work with when it's been hot for a long time because it gets really runny. I'm going to do the same with that one, and then that is what my flower is going to look like, and it looks absolutely perfectly like a poinsettia, doesn't it? So that's what my flower is going to look like. Now what I want to do is just get my little leaves, and I'm going to pop them on the back and just see what they look like first. Okay, that is going to look gorgeous, and then we've got our centerpiece. So that's fabulous. Let's now start putting together then. So the best way that I've found to do this is to actually put the hot glue onto there and then press this one onto the top. I don't like to put the glue onto here. So what I like to do is grab the end of my True Control weeding tool and I press it down with that so I don't have to touch it, because again it's really hot. So I'm just going to grab my glue gun again and pop some glue into the center. You don't need to go mad with it, but one thing you can do whilst you're here is get rid of that glue string before it has time to develop. Place your flower petals where you want them to be, and then all I do is just press it down in the centre with that tool. Depending on how good a quality your felt is will be whether that glue will come through your felt. It looks alright. Okay, let's do the next one. So again, just a little blob in the centre. That might be a bit too much actually. Let's just get rid of those glue strings before they develop properly. Okay, let's get our flower and put that on the top. And again, just push that down gently. Let's just let that set a moment. Then I've got my little gold piece. Now this is going to go in the centre here. It will go over the top though, so you don't need to worry too much about being able to see any of the glue that's in the centre there. So what I do now normally is just put the glue around the edge here of my piece of cardstock, and then I'll just place it on there. So again, be very, very careful. It might be a good idea to use a pair of tweezers to hold it in this instance, just to make sure that you don't get glue on your fingers, because it will burn you quite badly. Don't go mad, because again, we don't want it to come through those holes. So I've put some dots of glue all the way around there, as you can probably see, and then I am just going to place that on there and just carefully hold it down until it's stuck to my felt flower. Okay, next thing to put on then is the leaves. So let's get the leaves put together off the flower before we attach it onto there. So just a small dab of glue again on the bottom of there, and then let's just put that together. We want it to be, and go quite close together to create that leafy effect. And then we want to put that onto the back of our flower. So again, a small dab of glue on the base of the flower. Okay, and then we're just going to pop our leaves onto there and let that dry. So there is our finished flower. Look how beautiful that is. It's so gorgeous. The next thing to do then is to attach it to your ribbon. So I've just got this small length of red ribbon, and this is just going to allow me to attach it onto my gift a little bit easier. So I've just folded it in half to find the center, and what I'm going to do is just put a small dab of glue again onto the back of this, and then I'm going to pop that onto my ribbon like so. And now again I'm going to just grab that True Control weeder and just press that down slightly. I'm just letting that dry. Now that that is stuck onto that ribbon, it does allow me to put my flower onto my gift and then give it to my friend, or I could even sell these as gift embellishments. Doesn't it look gorgeous? I absolutely love these. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been a lovely one to do. I really enjoy making these flowers, and I hope that you will make some too. Don't forget to tag me in any Instagram photos that you do using this project, and I'll see you soon for another one. Bye!